as the calendar flips over to February. It's the final month of high school basketball before the playoffs begin. It's now or never to get those crucial wins down the stretch and prepare yourselves for the postseason stretch. I'm Caden Sexton. Alongside me is Nicholas Gialetti. Nick, we have Pekin and Metamora today in Tepke Gym. They've already met once over in Pekin, and it was a 51-42 win for the Redbirds on the road. How does Pekin come in on the road and fare today?
Pekin comes in on the road, and they're looking to play more defensively. They want to hold their teams to under 40 points. Every time they've done that, they have gotten a win. And this is also huge for conference play, as both teams come in 4-6 in their conference. And with huge conference implications on this game, you got to think that both teams come out ready to play.
Certainly, and when you look at Metamora, they've had a pretty much 500 season. They're 14-12. They're 4-6 in conference play, the same conference record for the Mid-Illini as their opponent tonight this afternoon in Pekin. Both of them want to just move up a little bit in the standings, get a crucial win down the stretch as they're getting ready for their postseason run. So,
exactly. And I personally think that if Pekin can come out defensively, I think they could actually upset on the road here. They do fare better on the road. That is what the coach also stated, that they fare better on the road, and I think they get a chance to prove that here tonight.
Yeah, you look at Pekin, and as you said, their coaches talked about how they've done better on the road. Let's just talk about their last 11 games. Yeah. You look at a big sample size like that. They had their 8-game win streak. They're 9-2 in their last 11. However, 1-2 in their last 3. That definitely has something to do with playing Washington and Washington and Morton in your last 3 games, 2 of the top-ranked teams in not just the area, but in the state. But, I mean, they've also beaten some very real teams in that stretch. They beat a Galesburg team that's having a great season, a Canton, a Dunlap, a Peoria, and an Illini Bluffs, last year's Class 1A runner-up. I mean, the 9-2 record in their last 11, yeah, those 2 losses came in Mid-Illini play, but they've played some dangerous and really quality teams in that stretch.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Those are like 2 of the best teams in their conference and going into this game. So I would definitely say that Metamora is also coming off of a conference loss as well. So that also brings some implications into this game as well.
Yeah, Metamora's last time out was a 48-37 loss in this building to Canton. They haven't played since then. However, Pekin's game last night was last night. I mean, they played Morton at Morton yesterday. Yes. I mean, not even 12 hours ago that game ended. So it's going to be a lot harder on Pekin to be able to. You got to forget your last game. That's something for both teams coming off of a conference loss. But both teams also, despite coming off a conference loss, Metamora, they've been able to think about that since Thursday night.
Yeah.
The Morton game again for Pekin happened yesterday.
Exactly.
It's very fresh on their bodies. It's very fresh in their minds, and you have to transfer over quickly,
right,
or else you're going to. Because if you're thinking about that too much, basketball's a mental game. You're thinking about that too much tonight, and you're not going to be having the luck that you're wanting.
Exactly. As Metamora's coaches did say, getting rest in between those games is absolutely key to winning this game.
Right, and something else that, as Metamora said, the added rest is going to be an advantage to them. Something that Pekin's coach talked about, Brett McGinnis, is he actually believes that they've been playing better on the road this season than at home.
Right.
Michaela Hurst of Metamora says, I hope my girls know that it's the home crowd and they've got to go out there and perform in front of their own fans.
Right, and right, exactly. And I don't even know what I was actually going to say. I just slipped my mind.
No, you're all good, Nick. We're going to send it to break, and when we resume, we will be coming back with Mid-Illini basketball. It's the rematch between the Pekin Dragons and the Metamora Redbirds here on CIProud.com.
In 1957, Cyril and Lewis Keller invented the skid steer in Rothsay, Minnesota to make farming and agriculture work much easier. Since then, Bobcat has become an integrated and trustworthy household brand. Being the first to bring the mini excavator to North America, Bobcat revolutionized the industry with compact tractors, utility tractors, mowers, and other equipment. Quick and agile, Bobcat is one tough animal. Locally owned and operated since 2001 in Bloomington and Peoria, Illinois.
Welcome to Braskies. This is your home away from home. Food, drinks, music, and games all under one roof. So bring all your friends, bring the whole family, because we could all use a bit more Braskies.
We are back at Metamora High School. I'm Caden Sexton. Alongside me is Nick Giletti. Nick, one key factor that Coach Hurst talked to us about Metamora before this game is they've actually invited a couple schools from the area, you know, the elementary schools, the middle schools. So a lot of Metamora girls in attendance today that are trying to be future Redbirds. What does that do to an athlete when you know that the next generation is watching you and looking at you for inspiration?
I think that adds a little bit more pressure on a team to play well because if you think about it, you got all these young people watching this game, and they're looking for people to like look up to, model their game after maybe, and it just adds a little bit more pressure to maybe make your shots or play some good defense or get a rebound or something like that.
Yeah, you'd love to say as a player and as a coach that doesn't mean anything to you, but it has to because
exactly.
it's a fresh set of eyes that look up to you as a role model. And let's be honest, not many high schoolers, I mean, when you were at the age of a high schooler, were you really thinking people looked up to you as a role model?
I would certainly say not. I didn't think that very many people looked up to me.
I think 1 in every 1,000 high schoolers think that they're a role model to the next generation.
Yeah.
And that's nothing against them. It's just that's the age you're in. But today they have to be that role model because they have the next generation who do look up to them and who do view them as role models. And so they have to go out there, they have to play clean basketball, and they have to show what Metamora basketball is to the next generation.
Exactly. Especially, you know, getting a win here is huge, especially for the younger generation because this is what they could be their future. So getting a win here would be huge to show that this is their home court and this is how they strive to play.
You know, one more note before the national anthem begins, and we'll go quiet for the anthem, is Metamora talked to us about how vital music has been this season. And we heard it when they came out for warm-ups. They played Diva by Beyonce. They just have a playlist of Beyonce and Rihanna running at all times during practice, is what Coach Hurst was saying. They actually went to Rochester earlier on this season, and on the road, Rochester came out to the song Diva by Beyonce, and that fired the Redbirds up to get the win against Rochester on the road. They played it today in front of their youth that they're inspiring. Pekin heard it as they came out to play as well, but that song's not here for them. That song's here to beat them.
Exactly. They use it more as motivation than just a song. So we'll see if that helps them out tonight.
Well, Metamora, with their youth that we were talking about, has spread all the way across the three-point line. We will take a quick breather for the anthem as Pekin over on the sidelines and Metamora.
At this time, we ask that you please rise, remove your hat, and face our flag as the national anthem is performed by Metamora's own pep band.
Well, welcome back from that anthem. You know, Pekin, we're going to get to the starting lineups real quick, and so we do want to keep a close listen. However, while we get started, Pekin, as you talked about in the open, 12-2 in games that they've held the defense under 40. That's McGinnis's goal every game, is to hold the defense under 40.
Yeah, I would. Defense is key because you want to hold your teams under a certain amount of points. That goes for like everywhere. That way, if you don't score as much that way, your defense can kind of carry you through wins.
I can't hear you.
Can't hear.
I can't hear you. Adjust it. Adjust it. We got Ava Stack in for Pekin. Next up is Lena Rivas. Sorry, Allie Barnum. Jumped the gun a little bit there. Then we've got Zoe Korma. Katie Covert and Allison Lamb rounded out the senior and junior duo we already knew was going to be in the starting lineup. They're the 2-point scorers for this offense. I can't hear you.
You still can't hear me?
I know. We need to help him. And the youth of Metamora is going to come out first in the starting lineups. All of their team is coming out, and they've got some balls that they're throwing out into the crowd as the Metamora Pep Band get their flashlights out and get ready to start getting this crowd pumping. Right above our camera operator, Jonathan Michael, we actually have a spotlight. Couple spotlights in here, as you can see. The gym turned off, but still a couple girls left to go. They're lining up at half court all the way down. I think this is the final one, so it's time for the Metamora starting lineup. They're going to reset before they go. They've actually got somebody from the JV game, one of the athletes on the team, taking photos in the lineup. She was shooting pregame as well when they were warming up. Going through the coaches first. It went in and out. To no one's surprise, the first starter to come out is Liv Vaughn. She's definitely been the offense this season, Nick.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Mackenzie McCoo was the next starter to come out. Now we've got Jillian Tyra.
Oh. Hello?
You had it, then you looked at John, and then you twisted it and it went out. To round out the starting lineup, we've got Addie Wooden as well as Kelsey Sell. Oh. Lights should be back on moment. Yeah, that was a big flash. A lot of gasps in the crowd after the lights turned back on, Nick.
Yeah, this place definitely really fluctuates with the eyes as you go from spotlights to actual lights.
And we're getting set for the opening tip. Had it been a 1/2 one. Just Nick, what do you think? What do you think each team has to do as we start this contest?
I think Pekin has to play very good defensively, and then Metamora, I think, also has to.
I've never seen that before. We have a jump ball after the jump ball. Since neither of them won the possession, we just redo the tip, but time 3 seconds off the clock. 3 seconds shouldn't mean much, but still a very interesting start to this contest already. It'll be Pekin's first ball. Pekin with the ball first. Katie Covert as well as Allison Barnum out on the ring. Now it's Allison Lambie. Lambie, the most points scored for the Dragons in their first contest, puts 2 in off the bat.
Right, they found a way to break that defense right up from Metamora.
So Liv Vaughn's currently carrying the ball. She just dished it into the paint. Liv has it back in the arc. But the interesting thing about Liv Vaughn, in the first contest, she shot 16 for 18 from the free throw line.
Wow, that is...
Scored 18 points in that contest, 16 of them on the charity stripe.
That just shows you how important free throws are. Because if you can hit your free throws, you have a very good chance of winning the game. Because most games come down to free throws, and hitting them are key.
Well, we all know how that Morton and Washington game ended as whistles called. The first foul of the game is going to go to Katie Covert of the Dragons. Excuse me, that's Allison Lamb. No, it is Katie Covert. I was right the first time. Katie Covert with the first foul of the contest. And that was last touched by the Pekin Dragons, so it stays Metamora ball.
I think Metamora has to really keep they're kind of throwing the ball around a little too much here. They're not kind of making risky passes like that one right there.
Pekin playing quality defense and making Metamora have a complete offensive miscue and throw the ball way back. And it took them the refs a second, but they ended up calling the backcourt violation. Brett McGinnis was running down that sideline to make sure it got called. Refs took a couple seconds to call it, but they did award it.
Which, I mean, happens. People are human, but got to get the right call there, which they did, so that is good.
Pekin's trying to start this offense with Ava Stock, as she's been a big key to this season. Driving into the paint, we got Zoe Korma. Dishes back out to the arc. Dragons trying to create an open look. Finally get one for Allison Lamb. She misses the 3.
See what Metamora does with the ball here.
Redbirds trying to get the sets right. That's something that Michaela Hurst talks about, is they implemented a lot of new sets the last time that the Dragons and the Redbirds faced off. A lot of those sets have had holes been found since then. Doesn't mean she's not going to try and use some of those as well as some new ones this afternoon.
Yeah, always switching up your offense and even your defense is key to throwing off teams because they don't know what to expect.
3 ball just off the mark by Addie Wooden. Katie Covert with the rebound, the junior, one of the keys of the offense. She scored 11 the last time these two saw each other. And a foul in the paint. That's going to be 2 shots for Ava Stock. Who's the foul going on? And it looks like it's on Kessa Sell. And it is on Kessa Sell. So it'll be 2 shots for Ava Stock to maybe tie this game up.
These would be huge. As I stated earlier, hitting free throws are important to winning games. So these would be huge if they could at least tie this game up.
Two for 2 on the line. And so 2 minutes in, 2-2 the score. A lot of 2s, I just said. Excuse me, Pekin put the 2 in. I was jumping the gun.
Yeah.
Red and white as a duo combo, not going to be keen to the eyes in the start of this game.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Both teams, their colors are red and white, so I would have to agree that they are,
Sell's now going to take some shots. That foul was on Zoe Korma.
With that free throw, that puts them on the board, so.
And that's 2 for Sell, so now it's 2 points for the Redbirds. Again, my apologies for jumping the gun a little bit, but Pekin's got the opportunity to make some more offense. Again, their goal is to just try and play some solid defense and get those points when they need to.
Exactly.
Zoe Korma loses the ball, and it's a turnover for the Redbirds. However, whistled back off of the foul. It's going to go on number 10. That's Sell's second of the game already. Excuse me. Korma's second of the game already. Nick, how many times am I going to miscue the teams because they're both red and white?
Hey, people are human. It happens. So, yeah, I mean, A lot of fouls here early on, though.
Liv Vaughn tried to get a pass in. She was able to get it to Mackenzie Baku. It was a small lane, and jump ball with the arrow going towards Metamora's way keeps this one down on their side of the floor, but some great aggressiveness from Pekin there.
Exactly. Good pass
Dish
inside.
right into the paint.
That's a good pass inside.
That's
right
a
there.
quick basket by Becca McHugh. Mackenzie Baku. Ava Stock trying to do it all herself. Finally, she finds a teammate. That's Allie Barnum. Barnum gets it back to Katie Covert. Covert is going to try and just calm things down. She gets it to Lamb. Lamb tries to make it happen herself. Instead, she dishes it out to Stock. Junior drove into the paint, wanted the foul, but instead, it's Metamora's ball on the turnover. And that's a basket.
And this lead has trickled away here from Pekin. So we'll see what they can do, maybe to change some things up. You know, maybe turn down a little bit on the turnovers because they lead to fast break points.
Pekin is being held at the arc right now. It's Lamb with the basketball. She gets it over to Barnum. Barnum's shot is in. That's the first three of the day for either side.
That is a good shot, and you love to see those threes falling early because, you know, that could really space the floor out and cause defenses to, you know, change things up a bit.
Liv Vaughn drives into the paint and gets called for a travel. You know, there was a lot of contact when she hit the senior and Allie Barnum, but that's not what the refs decide. They decide the travel is what they're going to give her.
I mean,
that's the better of the two
yeah.
calls if you're Michaela Hurst and the Redbirds. It's Stock. Finds the new player in Amaya O'Neal. Amaya O'Neal just got into the game and makes a quick mistake through passing it a little bit wide to her teammate. Gets the Redbirds a new advantage.
And like I stated earlier, turnovers, gotta, you know, tone those down a little bit. You know, keep the possession in your hands. You don't want to give away free points off turnovers.
Jalea Tyra thought about it, instead gets it to her teammate in Baylin Nana. Instead, it's out to back. Jelena Tyra got the shot eventually, missed the three. You know, Bailey Nana just checked into the game. That was a piece that both coaches talked about, as that basket's good for Pekin by Allison Lamb. That was a piece that both sides talked about, is Bailey Nena, the freshman, made a lot of big threes in the last contest that turned the tide and got the Redbirds the win. However, what really shifted the tide is what we just saw, Liv Vaughn driving into the paint and getting the foul.
Exactly. And I personally think that, you know, having a freshman who can come up and step up on varsity level is huge, because most freshmen, they tend to not go to varsity right away. But seeing her out here and playing effective roles is actually really impressive.
Not just playing effective roles, but hitting the big shot when the team needs you to. And that's something that Nena was able to do in the win against Pekin just a couple weeks ago. We'll see if she's able to pull some of those shots off this afternoon as Liv Vaughn drains both.
Seems like both teams are hitting their free throws tonight. I don't think we've had a missed free throw. So
we have not. Combined, the teams are 6 for 6 on the charity stripe. Ava Stock trying to find someone. Just has to dump it off. Katie Covert checked out, and a travel. That one was called on Lily Towery, the junior who came in for Covert. Liv Vaughn again trying to. She immediately gets herself into the paint after carrying the ball up. Dishes herself back to the three-point line, is driving, turns, and a little bit off the mark. No Redbird able to get it, so it'll be a Pekin ball.
And they're claiming it was a tip on Pekin. So
the back judge called that,
yeah.
Nick.
That is surprising.
The gym's silent after that one. It is a Metamora crowd here this afternoon. Liv Vaughn against three and is able to get the foul.
let's see if we can remain perfect here from the charity stripe.
Yeah, you know, Vaughn tried to get it. Again, Vaughn's got the height over anybody on the floor right now, but Vaughn really tried to get it on top or get that shot over 3 girls. That's not something that I think Hurst wants her taken many more of this afternoon. She makes the first, though, which points are points, and that's something that Hurst wants this afternoon.
That is true. That is true. But I going back on what you said, I think, you know, identifying when you have more than one person on you, finding that open person, because when there's more than one person on you, somebody is going to be open.
Yeah, when you like you're saying, when you enter a paint that has so much contention already, you're probably able to kick it out to somebody who's got an open look.
Exactly.
And I think that's what Hurst was trying to signal from the sidelines, but point mute, play continues on. It's Lamb. Lamb drives into the paint. Off the back iron, Metamora is going to run the other way with this ball. Nearly forced out was Jelana Tyra. Instead, the ball getting passed around eventually gets back to Liv Vaughn. Vaughn sees 3 players in the paint. This time, dishes it back out to the arc. This one's going to be called on Ava Stock. That's her second. And it looks like a sub is going to come in.
Oh, yeah, they're in the bonus already.
I mean, this is what happened last time. Liv Vaughn didn't have to do anything from the floor. She just had to do it from the stripe. Already proven to be the same case to this right now.
And it looks like she picked up right where she left off in their last game, hitting free throws.
I mean, that's her 5th of the game. Team 7th for Metamora. I mean, 8 free throw attempts in 7 minutes is not what Brett McGinnis meant by keeping the team under 40 in solid defense.
Yeah, I think you know, maybe back off a little bit, you know, because you're already in foul, you're in the bonus already, so maybe playing a little bit more backed off, you know, giving them a little bit more space is something that maybe he wants to implicate or something.
McGinnis had to take his point guard and Ava Stock out for these last 2 minutes. A little confusion there between the Dragons on how they wanted to approach, bring this ball up, but all things squared away. They've got Covert back on the floor, another offensive piece for this team. Hurst loving her defense right now and what the Metamora Redbirds have done. However, Lamb with an open look, and it's off the back of the iron.
I do like that shot. Showing the defense that you're not afraid to shoot the 3 is key to, you know, to maybe having them switch up the defense or how that they guard you. Maybe that could lead to her attacking the basket more later on in this game.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. You know, when you've got somebody who's taking a little bit of a deeper shot, but showing that they're not afraid to shoot it definitely puts a little bit of fear in the opponent. And as well as showing off your range, Metamora trying to keep this ball in play. And a deep 3 there by Leia Coster, however, hits around and doesn't go in. Metamora, though, with the rebound, able to get around. Fans out here behind us wanting a 3-second call. Refs have not really been looking to really have an interest in making that call. It's not many do in the high school level, Nick.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And she pulls that one again, showing, you know, she's not afraid to shoot the 3 ball, as I said earlier.
Yeah, neither team has shown their fear beyond the arc as Leia Coster off the front of the iron that time. Allison Lamb going to just get everybody to breathe. The senior wants to make sure that this offense is ready. I'm pretty sure she's going to try and take the last shot, or her team is going to try and take the last shot, forcing on the clock, and she gets fouled there by Addie Wooden. And Pekin is going to bring Ava Stock back out onto the floor. You know, we talked about Stock got 2 fouls. They want her offense back out for the last shot.
On the court,
So Metamora really gave an advantage to Pekin, allowing them to bring one of their offensive pieces and shooters, as well as just the point guard facilitator, back out. 5 to shoot for the Dragons. And that one was batted back around. Lamb tries to get a last-second shot. Doesn't matter as it hits off the iron. We'll go to break. It's 12-9 home team Metamora in the first quarter. You're watching CIProud.com, sponsored by Clutch Sports Media.
Come on in to Bob Lindsay Acura and test drive the award-winning Acura MDX.
Need an injury lawyer? Get a fighter. Get a street lawyer like Todd Strong. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He'll fight for your rights. Get Todd Strong. He fights like a street lawyer.
My name is Todd Strong, and I've been representing injury victims for over 25 years. I have a team of lawyers that also assist me in the handling of our cases that have aggressive passion to represent injury victims and get the best outcome possible.
Meadows Avenue Tap. Slots powered by Gold Rush Gaming, the gold standard in video gaming. Lunch service starting at 11. Meadows Avenue Tap. Discreet gaming, great food, great friends. Our customers won over 60 million lifetime. Meadows Avenue Tap, East Peoria.
Your sports, your teams, your stories, all in one place. CSM Overtime. Visit clutchsportsil.com/overtime to subscribe. An eventful first quarter that really was featured with the 8 free throws by the Redbirds, as Lamb gonna shoot from 3, and again off the back iron. She's not fearing that 3 ball, however, only 2 layups for her this afternoon.
Yeah, going back to that free throws, we gotta hopefully see some lesser aggressive defense here from Pekin, maybe force them to shoot the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the Redbirds not afraid of the 3 ball either. They've just got all of their offense, primarily got their offense in the paint. I mean, Metamora has yet to hit a 3-pointer this afternoon, but they've taken at least 4 or 5 shots.
Yeah.
And they wanted one there. Instead, driving into the paint for 2 is Addie Wooden. She thought she wanted the 3 ball, realized she didn't have it, took it in the paint, and got the bucket.
That's just good fundamental basketball, going straight to the paint, getting an easy layup there. There was really no contest on that shot.
Metamora going to try the paint as well, and it works. Excuse me. Pekin going to try the paint as well, and it works. It's Zoe Korma, her first bucket of the day. 3 ball by Liv Vaughn, and it's off the front of the iron into the corner, and Katie Covert of Pekin able to pick it up. Ava Stock again, that point guard, went out at the end of the quarter, came back in, and is going to facilitate the offense once more.
And you'd love to see her, stay in this game. You'd hate to see a player get into foul trouble early. So maybe she won't go as aggressive here on defense, and because I'm sure her coach would really not like it if she got in really deep foul trouble early on in this game.
Covert trying to find somebody, eventually does. It's Zoe Korma. Korma driving in the paint and gets the foul, draws the foul, and she's going to shoot 2. See who it's called on. And that was on Liv Vaughn. Yeah, that's on Liv Vaughn. That's her first of the afternoon. Again, plenty of time in this contest, but that's not the player that you want to see get a foul. It was a close foul there, and that's the first missed free throw of the day. But as we were talking about, that's the first foul on Liv Vaughn. She had a close one in the first quarter, but she's the last player you want going on the benches. That is the star for the Redbirds.
Yeah, exactly.
Cora makes the second. And she goes out for Leia Brown, the sophomore. Leia Brown definitely adds some height to this roster. Right now she's taking on the point guard in Leia Coster, but I could very easily see her doubling Vaughn as she does. Then she goes back to Coster, who got the open look thanks to the double, but it goes off the front, rattles around, and it's Pekin ball.
It was a very confident and deep 3 from her. You love to see that confidence, though.
And I think having Brown drop back and go double Vaughn made you feel more comfortable that you have a second to really set yourself.
And really think about that shot.
Right. Into the paint with Stock drawing the foul. The point guard already is 2 for 2 from the stripe, and it's going to take another. That foul is on 12. That's Addie Wooden's second, and it looks like Metamora is going to try and get her subbed out.
I will say free throws are very prominent in this game to start off. There's been a lot of free throws so far.
Yeah. Stock, the first player, the only player at the line so far for Metamora. I'm sorry, for Pekin. Liv Vaughn and Kessa Sell both at the line for the Redbirds. Metamora wants a 3. Instead, they give it to Vaughn in the paint. Vaughn finds again. They keep leaving Koster open because the double on Vaughn. Vaughn is recognizing that and dishing it out, but not there yet. That time they brought it back into the paint for Mackenzie Baku. Baku, though, gets into the jump ball situation.
And that was a good pass there from Vaughn. Recognized that the double was coming and found the open person in the lane for what is a pretty easy layup.
Katie Covert there just swats that ball away. The junior playing her best defense. I mean, a lot of these girls are out there playing their best defense. That's why we have a 14-all game. Vaughn trying to find somebody. She ends up finding Koster on the height mismatch. A wide open in the in the arc was Kessa Sell. However, off the back iron, Lamb's going to drive down the court with this one. It's Ava Stock now. Wants to drive, but instead passes it to Covert. Covert got doubled, but once she went in the paint, found a mismatch and able to get the bucket.
Getting those close shots are very key to winning this game. If you can't knock down your shots, going to the paint there's nothing wrong with that at all.
That was Covert's first basket of the game. She scored 11 the last time these two schools met, and that was the second most for the Dragons. It's Sell. Sell trying to find her teammate Mackenzie Baku, but Baku a little bit too tight of coverage, threw it on the wrong shoulder, and so Pekin's going to get the basketball back.
Yeah, and I
what's that?
Whoa.
And a quick foul there. It's going to go on Liv Vaughn. That's her second. And it's going to be interesting. Is she coming out? She is. So Liv Vaughn gets her second foul and goes to the bench. This is where Pekin's offense and as well as defense need to take advantage and capitalize.
Yeah. With Metamora having one of their star players out right now, this is a huge opportunity to capitalize that and maybe swing this game in their favor.
They're going to use Allie Barnum as the inbounder. That leaves all three of your top offensive threats out there to get a ball. They didn't find a good look, so the point guard, Ava Stock, goes behind the line to take it. Korma driving once more and draws another foul.
And I liked what I saw there out of Pekin's offense. A lot of screens, a lot of motion. That could really confuse the defense, when you got a lot of screens on the floor and a lot of running around.
Mackenzie Baku with her first foul, as this is the second trip for Zoe Korma. She makes her second. She's 2 for 3 from the stripe right now. And she capitalizes to get 3 points. This is a 9-0 Pekin run right now, and with Liv Vaughn just going to the bench, that not only hurts you with height in the paint, but it also hurts your offense as Liv Vaughn already had 6 points, the rest of the team having 8.
Well, and going off that, this is exactly what Pekin wants. They were, as he just made a layup, but
they needed that right there.
I was going to say Pekin has been playing some really good defense right now, and that's what they need. A good stretch of defense leading into points on offense.
It's Lamb. She gets it out to Brown. Brown finds Covert. Covert wants to drive. She gets around her defender with a great spin move, and Stock, the point guard, with the rebound. Second chance 3 is good for Allie Barnum. It's been a 12-2 run for Pekin this quarter.
And this is, if you're Pekin's coach, you'd love to see this. Girls are playing great defense. They're hitting their shots on offense. This is just a great run right here from Pekin.
And they're going to get another opportunity off that missed shot. McGinnis wants them to slow down. He's going to call out the play, but he wants them to go instead of going 40 miles an hour, go 35.
Yeah, take a little breather here. Get your thoughts gathered, slow the ball down. You have a little lead to play with here. You could definitely take some clock off here.
Leia Koster with a nice defensive swat there. However, since she was the last one to touch it, the Dragons hold possession. Barnum's already made 2 threes. She thought about it, instead gets it to Lamb. Lamb's 3 off the back iron. Rebound by Leah Koster, but jump ball and the arrow is pointing Pekin's way. Korma took a quick breather, but is back out on the floor for Pekin. Great offensive stretch right now, and they've got all their stars out there to keep it moving.
Yeah, and you got to think that, with Vaughn still on the bench, this could be a huge, keep the run going type of scenario here.
And Metamora is going to use their first time out. They definitely, Lamb took a missed 3 there, but they wanted to stop this run and calm things down.
Yeah, and sort of, get everything under control. Have them, breathe, get a little rest, and really come back with a good game plan.
As I've said already, we talked to both coaches before the game, and Brett McGinnis kind of mentioned their defense, and he kind of made it clear, if you're not going to go out there and play physical defense, you're not going to get as many minutes as somebody who is going to go out there and play physical defense.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes from them being multi-sport athletes.
Yeah.
These Central Illinois schools have a lot of girls who play more than one sport, and, they're all physical and they're all out there showing that they're going to play the whole time because they want to.
And being multi-sport really helps you because it can keep you in shape, and you're not going to really get as tired as much as you would if you were like a one-sport athlete type of person.
2 minutes left on the clock for the half, and this ball's going back Pekin's way off of the knee of the Redbirds. I think that ball went out on Bailey Nenna, the freshman who we talked about who made those big threes last time these two schools met. Hasn't put up any shots so far in this contest.
Well, there's still a second half to play. She could certainly get her shots, and certainly, turn this game around for Metamora.
And Liv Vaughn is going to check back into this game on the next dead ball. That's hopefully going to revitalize the Metamora offense if you're a fan of the Redbirds, as Korma draws another foul. And they are in the bonus now after that one.
And I would say the fouls have really flipped here. Pekin, 0 fouls so far this quarter. Metamora 5, so they have definitely flipped.
Korma from the line misses the first.
Redbird substitution, please welcome back number 1, Liv Vaughn.
And Liv Vaughn does come back in with the free throws. We'll see if Metamora can really turn things around here with her on the floor.
So 3 for 6 from the stripe is Zoe Korma, and that ball, the Pekin crowd not happy that it's being called a Metamora ball off of that rebound.
And some of the Pekin players were a little confused there. They thought it was their ball as well.
Yeah, the refs think that the girls in red were the last to touch it, so Metamora gets some opportunity here with Liv Vaughn to try and spark it back up. Leah Koster, she was getting boxed out by Katie Covert, however, able to get that one out.
A lot of screens, a lot of motions on this play. We'll see if that can free up maybe a shooter or an easy layup here for them.
And driving into the paint now is Bailey Nenna. Nobody tried to drive until Nenna, and she's going to go to the line.
And that is really smart there from the freshman, Nothing really going on offense. Maybe just, drive to the basket, maybe get a quick foul, which is exactly what just happened right there.
Yeah, Covert's second foul of the game, but it's Pekin's first of the quarter as Nana drains the first. They've really only let Zoe Korma take quick breathers for Leah Brown and then immediately bringing Korma back out. They do not want her taking too much time out on that bench.
Yeah. And as a key player, I would agree with the coach. You want your key players.
That was in and out of Allie Barnum's hands, and it rolled onto the shooter, Bailey Nenna, and so Metamora gets another chance off the miss. 2 shots, neither go in, and so Pekin's defense in the paint proves to be unmatched for this quarter. Liv Vaughn was out. Now she's going to come back in after that.
And this Pekin defense this quarter has really turned it up since the first quarter. They played much better, and I think that's a key to winning this game is is making sure that defense, keeps their brutality and aggression.
Lamb finds Stock. Stock not trying to go quick. They're trying to just set up the right opportunity. Metamora letting them take their time, letting them find their shot, but they want to make sure their presence is still felt and are quick on approaching the ball carrier. Now Korma's going to drive. She doesn't find anybody. That was Lily Towery, the junior, who had an open three instead. Doesn't take it.
I really thought she was going to take that. She was open there for a little bit. I thought she was going to let it fly.
They're draining this clock all the way down. We've got 3 left. Korma, uncontested to the hoop, gets a second layup.
And that is a great use of clock management. I mean, if you're Metamora, you got to really put some pressure because they let about 35 seconds go off on that clock right there.
I mean, they started that drive with plus 35 on the clock. Not only did they kill the whole time, but they were able to drive and make an uncontested shot.
Yeah.
I mean, the defenders were going right in the right half the paint. She went left for the uncontested shot. Well, looks like those Metamora girls that we were talking about earlier are going to play some knockouts. Maybe we'll catch a little bit of that in a bit. But first, we have a word from our sponsors here at CI Proud WMBD.
It's time to trade up. A job is just a place you go to work. A career is a path that moves you forward. Trade your job for a career in welding, HVAC, medical assisting, dental assisting, and more with hands-on training at Midwest Technical Institute. At MTI, you don't just get an education, you learn a valuable set of skills you can build on for a lifetime. It's time to trade up. Get the training you need for your new career at MTI.
Hi, I'm Jim Arnold with Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. Improve the curb appeal of your biggest investment, your home, with a new Wayne Dalton garage door. Or for repairs on your existing door, call us for service even on Saturdays. Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. It's in the name because it's...
At Ham's Furniture, we have your comfortable, affordable recliners, mattresses, and more. And we offer free local delivery.
Hi, I'm Russ at Ham's Furniture, inviting you to stop in and see what's new today.
Ham's Furniture at 347 Court Street in downtown Pekin.
The Bob Grimm way starts with us.
The Bob Grimm experience, what I like is that, you put customers first, make sure we meet every expectation and make a long-lasting relationship with them so that, they know that we're here for them and for their friends and family.
Don't try to put someone in a car that is not going to work for them. If you don't have what they want, try to get it, the proper vehicle. Again, just treat people the way you'd want to be treated and a fair deal.
That's the Bob Grimm way.
Meadows Avenue Tap. Slots powered by Gold Rush Gaming, the gold standard in video gaming. Now serving breakfast Saturday and Sunday at 7. Meadows Avenue Tap. Great breakfast, discreet gaming. Our customers have won over 60 million lifetime. Meadows Avenue Tap, East Peoria.
Dive deeper into the stories you care about on CSM Overtime. Get features, breaking news, and nightly roundups of area scores. Visit clutchsportsil.com/overtime to take your fandom to the next level. Joining me here for halftime is Jonathan Michael. John, a 14-3 Pekin run to end that quarter.
Yeah, that was an impressive spurt there from Pekin, and I was behind the camera for that first half, and I knew Metamora had a lead, and I looked up, I saw Pekin was up by 6. Again, it's different when you're watching the game from behind the camera versus commentating the game. You're not really paying attention to the score quite as much, but again, strong end to the half for Pekin, especially Zoe Korma. Getting a couple buckets in that last stretch. She's been big for them, and I mean, really, you look up and down their scoreboard, balanced scoring for the Dragons. That's what we've come to expect from this Pekin team. Anybody can hurt you on any given night or day. But it's again strong half. But again, Metamora is still very much in this game. I think we're going to see this one come down to the last few possessions.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about how Brett McGinnis preaches their team defense. And, he even told us, they're 12-2 in games that they've held their opponents to under 40, which is their team goal, to hold an opponent under 40. It's on pace to do so right now. But, the foul trouble is what really spoke to us as well, John. Pekin got their opponent into the bonus in the first quarter. Opposite way, Metamora with the fouls in the second.
Yeah, definitely. I like to see Metamora, try and get down low and, get some easy buckets down in the paint here in this second half. Get to the line some more, just use that aggressiveness to, crawl back in. Again, 6 points is hardly nothing. going into the second half. So if you can get easy buckets, makes it even easier for Metamora. Again, not saying it will be easy against a very good Dragons team, but again, Metamora is still right in this. One thing noticed in that first half, not really a ton of three-pointers. You saw a couple from both sides, but saw a lot taken. They were all good shots, just didn't go. I think we're going to see a lot more shots from deep go in that second half.
Yeah, you were talking about letting them fly. Allison Lamb took a couple but didn't make any three. In the game, we only have 2 made threes, both on Pekin's side. And, I mean, like you said, Liv Vaughn going to the paint either got a bucket or got a foul 9 times out of 10. And that's figuratively speaking, not statistically speaking. But that's what happened last game, and that's what both coaches talked about in their interviews was Liv Vaughn went into the paint, got the bucket, or went to the charity stripe. And that started happening here in the first quarter. Then she got into foul trouble in the second quarter, not able to make as much happen. And that, I mean, her being out played a big role in my eyes in the run that Pekin went on.
Yeah, Vaughn's the engine for Metamora. I mean, she is, one of only 3 seniors on this team. So, again, veteran presence for this team, led them in scoring a lot of games. This is my first time seeing the Redbirds this season. So, again, I'm not going to speak to, what I've seen Liv Vaughn do. I've seen what she's done in terms of the stats and what she's put up. Again, she's had a great season for them. But, again, you're going to have to rely on your veterans, your key girls in crunch time. I think Metamora's going to have to do that here.
Yeah, John, last question for you before we go back to break. What does this game do for both teams down the stretch as well as just in the Mid-Illini in general?
Yeah, this is a really big one. I mean, you look at both teams coming into today, 5th and 6th in the conference, doesn't jump out to you, but same records. They're only 1 game behind Dunlap and Canton both. It's a big day in the Mid-Illini. There's conference games going on all around. I know Limestone is playing Morton later today, and I believe I had to look and see what the other matchups are. Dunlap and Canton, again, just 1 game ahead of these teams. They're both in action later today as well. I'm trying to see who they're playing. Pulling it up right now. East Peoria is playing Washington, so Washington going to be a favorite in that game. But again, you can't ever count out Kylie Moeller and East Peoria. Dunlap does play Canton, so one of those teams will lose, and obviously one of these teams will win. So an opportunity for each of these teams to move up at least 1 spot in the conference standings going into the postseason. And really at this point, it's all about momentum, right? Both these teams probably know they're not going to win the conference. Morton, Washington, and one of those teams are going to do that. Right now it's all about just getting a good seed, building momentum towards the playoffs, and ending the regular season on a high note. And this is an opportunity to kind of get things going.
John, thank you so much for joining me for halftime. Greatly appreciate your insight and hearing from you. We've got one more break and then the return from the Dragons and Metamora. Can Pekin hold on to this lead on the road, or will Metamora make the comeback? Find out shortly here on CIProud.com.
Welcome to Braskies. This is your home away from home. First down to last call, we're serving up the good times. Food, drinks, music, and games all under one roof. At Braskies, you'll find what you're looking for.
The heart of Illinois needs volunteers, and you can make a difference. Be part of a global community of people who care. Discover the joy and satisfaction that comes with improving your community and the lives of the people living in it. United Way connects volunteers who are ready to work with opportunities in the local area, driving real change made by individuals like you. Join United Way in improving the lives and communities around us all. Sign up today at volunteer.hoiunitedway.org.
Take the hassle out of pavement restoration with Purdue Pavement Solutions. Whether seal coating, crack sealing, or parking lot repair. And now featuring pavement sweeping. For professional quality pavement craftsmanship, trust Purdue Pavement Solutions.
We are Local Union 649. Our commitment to safety, our state-of-the-art training facility, and our pride in the work.
Tepke Gym here in Metamora, Illinois. One thing we noticed when we got here this afternoon is the parking lot was full. And we got a good-sized gym right now, but it's because the regional wrestling tournament is happening a couple doors down here at Metamora.
Well, I did actually not know that, so you just told me that myself. I do have some family members that wrestle, so I always find wrestling fun, so, definitely a place to check out.
Yeah, that gym was packed when we went over to check it out during the JV game. But let's get back to basketball. You know, wrestling is fun and that, but we still got another 16 minutes here to play between these two teams. And one thing that I want to touch on before we get on is just growing the game. You know, earlier on this season, head coach Michaela Hurst took her girls up to the Chicagoland area to a tournament, and it's not a normal tournament, Nick. It's a tournament that all teams entering have to have female head coaches, as well as all the referees are females, just to talk about growing the game. And, you know, Michaela Hurst, yeah, she's in her second year here at Metamora, but she was the head coach for Plainfield South Plainfield North. She was the head coach for Plainfield North for 4 seasons prior to coming down to Metamora last year. And so she got to see some of her coaching rivals in Plainfield South and Montini Catholic, scooping up a win against that Plainfield rivalry. I'm from that area. I know the rivalry when you got two schools from the same town. She was able, even though she wasn't wearing the colors of Plainfield South and Plainfield North anymore, she showed Plainfield South what the rivalry still means to her. Yeah. And she was able to go on and get that win against, a close game loss, however, it's a Montini.
That tournament also, it gives their girls more games to play and, tough, maybe not tougher competition, but like they get to see other schools, maybe try some things, and you could really learn a lot from that tournament.
Yeah, it's seeing some bigger schools, and it's about just getting different competition. To kind of touch on Michaela Hurst before we go into the start, the 4 years prior, like I said, she was the head coach of Plainfield North. Her first season had a 15-17 record. The following 3 seasons for Plainfield North, she had the lowest was a 70% win rate.
Wow, that is really impressive, and you love to see that really good turnaround right there. She went from under 500 to not losing less than 70% of her games.
Liv Vaughn, off the rip, goes into the paint and puts in 2.
That is what you like to see here from Metamora, though. Immediately attacking the basket, getting to their spots on the floor. Those are things you just love to see.
Pekin's first time on offense. Stock trying to find someone. Does feed Covert into the paint. Tied up. Pekin wants the foul. Wow. Doesn't get it. There was a lot of physicality
I think there was a lot of contact.
Yeah, Kessa Sell had a lot of contact. They are going to call a jump ball now. That's a correct call, but wow, Kitty Covert got tossed around on her way into the paint.
Yeah, and the Pekin coach was not very happy with the no call there, and I'd have to agree. There was a lot of contact on that play from Metamora. They definitely got away with one right there.
Korma has the ball, but not able to get her way into the paint. Strong defense by Mackenzie Baku. Corvert thought about draining a 3 instead. Gets it around to her teammates. They want the 3 ball. The Dragons not getting a good look. They have the ability to be picky with the lead. Instead, Korma drives into the paint. That's her 8th point of the afternoon.
Yeah. When all else fails, just attack the basket. Maybe draw a foul here, or as she just did, make a layup and get your team on the board here to start the second half.
A 3 ball there by Kessa Sell, and a little bit off the mark. Again, Metamora has not made a 3 yet. They've been shooting them, and the only person to make a 3, if we're being fair, are the 2 from Allie Barnum on Pekin. Katie Covert fed in the paint and earns the 2.
I think if you're Metamora here, you stick towards attacking the basket. Maybe get a few open 3s here or there, but maybe stick towards, attacking the a basket here and maybe drawing some fouls.
Here's another 3 ball, and it's a little bit off by Jillian Tyra. Yeah, you're talking about maybe trying to take some shots in the paint. John at halftime talking about taking some shots in the paint. Metamora's, after that live-on layup to start the quarter, they've been shooting the 3 ball.
Hey, if you're confident that you can make that, there's nothing wrong with shooting a 3. Because if it goes in, shows the deep.
And that's another foul on Korma. She's 3 for 6 from the stripe, so why not push her around when she goes into the paint?
Yeah, I think she'll hit these 2 here, and show the team maybe, hey, stop following me.
Mackenzie Baku picks up her 2nd, and that's off the front of the iron. It's the 4th missed free throw. All of the missed free throws for Pekin right now from number 10.
I think maybe later game, if this game gets close, maybe send her to the line and take your chances with there as she hits that one.
Yeah. I mean, she's 4 for 8 from the line. Had 2 appearances where she went 1 and 2, and then 2 appearances where she did it all or none. As a 3 ball there goes in for Leia Koster. Koster with the first 3 ball for the Redbirds.
They are really sticking to this 3-point shot. It's good to see that one finally fell for them, but it is it's quite interesting how they keep taking those threes.
We knew they had to make one eventually with how comfortable they felt from the arc. As Stock goes into the paint, perfect dish from Stock to Barnum for Barnum's first layup of the afternoon.
And going back on that 3, maybe if you're Metamora, maybe you shoot another one. Maybe because once you see one go in, maybe they'll start falling here in bunches.
Liv Vaughn trying to get it away. She does. She finds Jillian Tyra. Again, they're continuing to pass it beyond the arc. Finally, they find Liv Vaughn under the basket, and she gets fouled and will go shoot 2.
And she was really calling for that ball there. She had her hands up, asking for it. She finally finds it and goes to the charity stripe here.
She found a mismatch in her eyes. It's Allison Lamb's second, and so Vaughn will take some more shots. She's already got 8 points in this contest. That is the most for Metamora. Let's see if she can get it up a couple or 2 more.
Yeah, find some double digits here.
She makes the first. Metamora have not missed a free throw yet.
And that's good if you're Metamora. You know, going back to what I said earlier in the game, hitting free throws is key. So.
You could hear McGinnis talking to his team after, with how silent that gym is. I will say, the gym has been silent on both sides for free throws. The band hasn't been making any, normally when you go to some of these high school games, the pep band, they can't play their instruments, but they'll scream or whatnot during the opposing free throws.
Yeah.
That's a 2 for Allison Lamb, but as I was saying, no crowd of Metamora, no band, no noise at all during the Pekin free throws, and then a pin could have been dropped during that free throw attempt for Metamora.
I mean, there's definitely people here, so, I mean, it's kind of surprising how nobody's really, cheering or getting up, or making some noise.
Katie Covert into the paint, left hook, but strong defense from Metamora, and they are going to call it Pekin ball after that was, I think, Ava Stock who threw it off a Redbird on her way out of bounds.
Covert does go out here on this play. So we'll see what the Pekin offense looks like without her.
3 ball from Lamb. She's attempted many and not made any. It's Koster. She has the lone 3 for the Redbirds.
Vaughn calling for it in the corner.
They're calling it. They're trying to get Liv Vaughn the ball. Tight defense by Allie Barnum. The senior knows how to defend. A deep 3 from Koster goes in.
Metamora has really found their 3-point shot after that first one.
I mean, they missed a couple to start the frame, but the last 2 have both been off Leia Koster's hands, and both have gone in.
And those are things that you like to see if you're Metamora's coach.
Coach McGinnis might want to draw up a little bit of a different look because earlier on in the game, they were taking Koster's defender to double Liv Vaughn. Now it's the 2 of them being the sole offense. They're the only 2 to score a point for the Redbirds this half.
Yeah, and you got to think if you're Pekin's head coach, maybe you switch some things up there. Maybe see if other people can score the ball because right now you want to take the ball out of those 2's hands.
And Bailey Nena drives into the paint and gets the foul on the second chance attempt. Man, Metamora came out fighting, and they just want to put the ball up towards the net. I think they're taking more shots. They're not taking stupid shots by any means, but they are definitely taking more shots. And that first one goes in for Bailey Nina. She made all those big 3s the last time these 2 teams met. Right now, just 2 for 3 from the charity stripe in the contest as we speak.
And that's totally okay, Maybe you don't have to shoot all these 3s, but, maybe you'd like to as well, but...
Yeah, but when you drive into the paint, get a foul, and then shoot 2 for 2 on the line...
Yeah, you're not going to complain.
The coach isn't going to be coming back with notes. Wow, that was a great offensive move by Zoe Korma. She got her defender and Leia Koster all the way off her, but missed the shot in the paint.
Metamora really pushed the ball on that possession, really wanted to get on offense. see what they got going on here.
Nice pass there from Jillian Tyra. Tyra gets it back, drives into the paint, and it's scattered around the rim, and instead it's Liv Vaughn who has it, and the ref is going to call jump ball. That stays with the Redbirds. And timeout is called by Pekin. I mean, the lead is down to 3 for the Dragons.
I think if I'm coach there, I'd call a timeout too. You know, switch some things up defensively, and you know, maybe find something that's working here on offense.
Yeah, you know, this, as we talked about earlier, it's Michaela Hurst's second season with Metamora, and she's talked about how she's grown a little bit more with these girls. You know, every first-year coach, the girls that are at the senior and junior level, they already have an established routine. It happens with every sport.
Yeah.
You get a new director in band, you get a new football coach or a new basketball coach. They're stubborn. They know their ways. And they want to do it how it was taught for them. And Hurst has to come in and teach it to be her scheme. And, you know, that sometimes works really well. Sometimes it doesn't work really well. And by no means I'm saying it didn't work last year. I'm just saying Hurst identified that she feels a lot more comfortable with the girls and feels like the girls are more comfortable with her this second season and more trust mutually between the two sides.
Yeah, I think that's key to not only winning games, but keeping players happy, you know. When a new coach comes in, most players, they don't tend to, you know, want to switch up the scheme. But if the more you get comfortable with those players and how they feel and what they like to do, the better are you off later on in the season.
And you know what else it's good for? Having trust between the two sides, making comebacks when you're down going into halftime.
That is true.
And a deep two ball. I mean, that was attempted a layup. And Liv Vaughn is going to get the and one.
Wow.
Liv Vaughn might tie this game.
And whatever Hurst said in the locker room has really worked here to start off this second half.
Well, she's proved to be a smart and winning head coach, and she did not want to come out this second half and repeat the turnout that was on the momentum streak, however you want to put it, in the first. And Liv Vaughn just got a 3-point play.
And one thing I will note is that Metamora does a lot more of their scoring in the second half, and they have started this second half with a lot of scoring.
You know, Nick, Liv Vaughn, we talked about earlier, 16 of her 18 points the last time they met, as that's a travel for the Dragons. It's going back the other way. 16 of the 18 points last year, I'm sorry, not last year, 16 of the 18 points last game for Liv Vaughn came from the charity stripe. Right now, 9 of her 13 are from the stripe.
I mean, and if you're Pekin's coach,
and she hasn't missed one from the stripe.
Yeah, if you're Pekin's coach, maybe you want to force her to not take so many free throws, as she's shown that she can actually hit those. You know, in the last game going 16 of 18, and this game being 9 for 9.
Lamb got some contention, and it was just taken by Bailey Nena out of the air. A great defensive move by the freshman. And Nena on the block. I think she's the one that drew the foul. It'll be on Katie Covert. Foul is on Bailey Nena. I was correct. That's her second. You know, Liv Vaughn is a senior. She has the experience from the stripe, but 9 for 9 in this contest, 16 for 16 the last time they met. Look at somebody like the junior Katie Covert, who just missed one for Pekin.
I mean, and going back to Vaughn, going 16 of 18 and 9 for 9 from the charity stripe in their last 2 games is no easy task. So that shows that she, you know, can hit, you know, those free throws, and, you know, you want her on the charity stripe in, like, clutch situations.
Let me tell it to you like this. I get Liv Vaughn just went to the bench, but I'm going to talk about her once more. Last time, she went 16 for 16. A deep 3 from Koster.
Wow.
Goes in! Koster's 3 for 3, her last 3-point attempts. Tongue twisters allure.
I think with Vaughn on the bench, I think you keep trying to get her to shoot it. She's shown she can really shoot it this half.
Koster, the freshman as well, making an impact. Last time it was the freshman and Bailey Nena. This time it's the freshman and Koster who's coming up with the big threes.
You know, a lot of freshmen here stepping up for this team, and that's what you like to see if you're the head coach.
Metamora likes to rely on Liv Vaughn, but their second options have been the freshmen in the last 2 games against the Dragons.
And that also is key to years to come. Obviously, as people tend to leave, like seniors and stuff, you have people you can rely on in these freshmen.
Yeah. It was a 14-3 run by the Dragons to end the quarter. We're currently on an 11-0 Metamora run.
Wow, and I'm sure heading into half, this is not what Pekin would think would happen here in the third quarter.
I just did some quick maths on my calculator, Nick. Metamora has scored more points this quarter than they did the last half.
Wow.
18 this quarter right now, 17 last half.
Hey, if you're Pekin's defense, you obviously want to switch things up a bit here because, you never want to give more points in a quarter than in a half. But if you're Metamora, you stick with what's working here, and that 3-ball has worked this half.
The 3-ball and the Liv Vaughn drive, yeah. They find an open shot. It'll be for 2 if it goes in, and it does for Allie Barnum. She's shot everywhere. She can go from the paint. She can go from 3. She can go a deep mid-range. She's been excellent for this offense. And this one's going the other way. The foul called on Metamora on the offensive stride.
And I heard some fans asking for a charge there, and the ref rewarded them with it. So
that was Coster, like you mentioned, getting Coster the ball. Michaela Hurst talking about the push-off, but instead, Pekin gets this ball.
Let's see if Pekin can take the lead here to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they've taken the last shot in every quarter so far. They're going to do so here with 5, 4, 2, and a layup by Zoe Korma. Korma been dominant in the paint as she gets another layup. She's the leading scorer right now with 12 for Pekin. We're going. We got 8 more minutes to play, but first, a message from our sponsors. You're watching Clutch Sports Media on CIProud.com.
We are Local Union 649. Our commitment to safety, our state-of-the-art training facility, and our pride in the work we do to build America is what makes us stand out from the rest. We are Local 649 of the International Union of Operating Engineers, and we are looking for the next generation of equipment operating apprentices. With Local 649, you'll find more than a career. You'll find a family, creating legacies since 1917.
At Ham's Furniture, we have your comfortable, affordable recliners, mattresses, and more. And we offer free local delivery.
Hi, I'm Russ at Ham's Furniture, inviting you to stop in and see what's new today.
Ham's Furniture at 347 Court Street in downtown Pekin.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, the Redbirds had an amazing third quarter to go at 1 point behind Pekin. Quick read from our sponsor, from us. Your sports, your teams, your stories, all in one place. CSM Overtime. Get your coverage now. If you visit clutchsportsil.com/overtime. And go subscribe. If tonight's game goes to overtime, your first month of CSM Overtime is just $1. So subscribe no matter if it goes in overtime or not. Maybe it's $1, maybe it's not, but make sure you subscribe to get your favorite schools, sports, and teams all in one place. Nick, what I missed during that read, it looks like Katie Covert's going to the line.
She, that's what you like to see, though. Her being aggressive to start the quarter, going to the charity stripe. And, well, you hate to see that miss, but, she can. I think she can make up for it on this next one.
Yeah, that's Katie Covert's. She's been to the line now twice. She is 0 for 3 and now 0 for 4. I mean, they've got 2 girls in Katie Covert and Zoe Korma who you can feel comfortable with if you are Metamora and need to foul. Foul with those 2. Is Katie Covert going to make up for what she just lost? Getting the steal down the paint and a great block. That block was by 32. I do not have a 32 on my roster. That's Ella Russell, the senior. She's not on the roster that I had, but she got the last foul, and she made that block. And now Metamora has the lead, the first lead they've had since the first quarter.
I will say things have changed drastically since the first half here. Metamora has really found their groove. They're playing very good defense right now. If you're Pekin, maybe call a timeout, switch some things up here. I know they just came out of the quarter, but things have not looked good to start the fourth quarter for Pekin, as well as the third quarter.
And are they going to call the block or are they going to call a push? And they're going to call a push on Coster. That's her her second, excuse me. No, they are calling that her third. I mismarked a foul of hers. My head was right. My sheet was my pencil was wrong.
Hey, I mean, so it's a good thing they have it up there as well,
Koster doesn't go to the bench. It's Ella Russell. She made 2 incredible plays coming in off the bench. She hadn't came out so far, and like I said, she wasn't even on my roster to start this game.
I think if you're Pekin here, you kind of attack the basket, maybe get to the line or
Katie Covert kind of just throwing one up there. She was covered and falling down, but wanted to do it herself. And a wide open shot in the paint. However, off the front iron, second chance hits the side of the boards, and it's going Pekin's way after 2 Metamora misses in the paint. McGinnis talks about how he likes to hold his opponents to under 40.
Yeah.
We thought first half that was going to happen, but
it definitely looked like it was.
3 points away under 30 with 6 minutes left. It's going to be hard for his defense to do it, so his offense is going to have to come away with this win.
Yeah, and most of the damage was done in the third quarter there. It looked promising until, the third quarter happened, but,
And a travel called, that on Leah Brown, the sophomore. It gets Metamora another possession.
And if you're Metamora here, their defense has looked really good.
Koster is going to come out, but yes, sorry.
Yeah, but their defense has looked really good since the start of the second half. And, if you're Pekin, this is not what you wanted to see.
Not at all, Nick, but Metamora, they took out their leading 3-ball and only 3-ball shooter so far in this contest because of the 3 fouls. That's going to come into play of foul trouble. That's what ended the second. That's what switched the tide in the second quarter, and that might be switching the tide here in the third quarter, or fourth quarter, excuse me. That ball long, and so on Pekin, they had an open Allison Lamb, but way too far on her, so it's going to be the Redbirds going back down the floor. Zoe Korma, the leading scorer in this game for Pekin. Metamora's leading scorer, Liv Vaughn, 12 and 13 respectively, as a foul called, but it's not shooting. Metamora trying to find somebody. It was hard, but they did.
I was just about to say, if I'm Metamora here, I look to get something maybe right underneath the basket.
That's Tyra's first bucket of the night. They finally found her lane and was able to feed one underneath. Now Pekin, they're down 3. This is their, they need to come back. And Allison Lamb, she does not get the foul. Instead, a charge on her gets Metamora the ball to tack on to this lead.
It looks like Covert's coming back in here. Maybe that breather on the bench, that could help her, find maybe a rhythm out here and bring this team back to within a tie or even a lead.
Now the Redbird chance finally started.
Yeah.
I think this is the loudest the gym has been in this contest, and that was Addie Wooden who drew the foul down low. It's on Covert, and that's her third.
I will say, though, if you are Metamora, you have shown that you can play some basketball here in the second half, and that really shows the younger generation that is on the sideline still that what you're all about here.
15th free throw made. Only 1 so far missed for Metamora.
That is a really impressive mark. And if you're a head coach, you will not complain about that at all.
Well, broadcaster's jinx made Wooden miss the second, so I think Hurst might have a few words for the two of us post-game. Not our girls, but definitely us.
Yeah, so. I think that'll definitely be the case.
And then a miscue again, that time by Zoe Korma. Once more gets Metamora the basketball.
Going back to those free throws.
Out a Pekin shot. And that was a foul called on number 5. That's Allie Barnum, her first, but she's been an offensive masterpiece, the only one to make a 3 on the other side of the floor.
Yeah, and I think if you're a Pekin, maybe you give her a shot to make another one, see if she can hit more than 1 3 here tonight.
Well, the last 3 times down the floor, Pekin hasn't attempted a shot. A steal there by Allison Lamb, and that steal forces Coach Hurst to try and check Koster back in the game on the next dead ball. It's Covert in the paint, right hook, and in.
And if you're Covert, you love to see just anything drop right now, and that's just what happened right there on that layup.
That gets the confidence back after going 0 for 4 from the charity stripe and having your team down now only by 2. Metamora has 4 of the 5 girls beyond the arc. Vaughn's going to drive against 3, draws the foul, and is going to shoot 2.
And I think right now I'm not going to say anything on these free throws because I have jinxed both teams when it comes to free throws.
That's not good for Coach McGinnis, one of his best defenders and one of the best offensive pieces, and Katie Covert just picked up her 4th foul. She's 1 away from out.
Wow, I mean that really can change it, alter a game plan here. If you're Coach McGinnis, because with your best defender and best scorer out, that if you're Metamora though, that is what you kind of hoped for.
So Covert is going to check out and wait until later on in the game. On these free throws, I think we're the only voices that are audible, and so we're not trying to. I mean, it feels awkward speaking right now, but she made the ball. I mean, it's obvious. We're broadcasters.
Yeah.
We get to talk whatever we want.
But
a pin can be dropped when Metamora is on that stripe, and Liv Vaughn hasn't missed one this afternoon.
This place has been awfully quiet, besides for that one chant the band had going for them, and that early on in this quarter, but.
And now they're starting a defense chant. We might have been sparking the band up.
They heard us talking, and they're
Pekin
like,
fans
we can show you how to do it.
Pekin fans are going to be happy we're getting their band going.
Yeah.
As they get another turnover for Metamora. The last 4 or 5 drives, they've only attempted 1 shot. Liv Vaughn in the paint, 3 people in her way, so she dishes out for 3, and it's off the front of the iron for Kessa Sell. Pekin with the rebound, but the press is on by Metamora.
I will say I do like that shot, though, from Metamora. You have hit, I think,
Barnum
4 of your last 5 3-pointers.
A little bit hard of a shot for Barnum. She got excited that she had the open frame and tossed it up a little bit too high. That foul on Barnum, her 2nd. She doesn't have to be too concerned, as now Bailey Nenna, the freshman, back into this game. So you've got 2 freshmen who have hit big threes against Pekin out there.
Yeah.
You've got Liv Vaughn, and then are they going to call a travel? Pekin wants a travel.
Yeah.
Instead, it's going to be a foul.
It definitely looked like a travel to me, but I'm no expert, and I'm not reffing out there.
They're calling the 3rd foul on Korma, and that's the bonus. So it'll be Mackenzie Baku going to the line. Baku's first trip this afternoon. 3:02 on the clock.
Yeah.
We definitely are quiet in our voices. Off the front of the iron for her first attempt.
I don't like being the loudest in the gym anymore, so.
I'm fine with being the loudest in the gym when we got action going, but it's a little harder to be the loudest in the gym, as I am the loudest in the gym right now during these free throws. Off the back of the iron again.
Wow, what a rebound.
And a great rebound by Bailey Nenna, but just a little bit too hard, and it rattled around. So that's 2 of the 4 missed free throws for Metamora this game. They've attempted 20.
Wow, if you're Pekin's coach, you might want to call a timeout here and talk to people.
16 of the 42 points have came from the charity stripe for Metamora. Korma back in the paint, rattled around but goes in, and it's only a 2-point game again.
I will say she has really stepped up her game here, not only with hitting those last second shots at every quarter, it feels like, but she has really stepped up in this offense when they needed her to the most.
Well, as you said, as you suggested, I should say, Pekin wants the timeout. They end up calling it. And again, don't forget, folks, if this game goes to overtime, CSM overtime is only $1. I mean, that's a deal you can't pass up.
That's a really good deal.
It'll be $1 for your first month of the subscription. You'll get 2 attached to it that you'll never want to give it up, because we've got the best local stories from all around the area.
I would agree. And I know if I'm a fan, I'm kind of hoping for overtime, because who doesn't want a good deal like that?
I mean, you might not want to if you're a fan of Pekin or Metamora, but that doesn't mean that you're not a fan of getting CSM overtime for just $1.
I know I'm certainly a fan of deals. Let's see what they come out here to come out of this timeout.
As you suggested, it was a Pekin timeout. They're down 2. The ball will be Metamora's following the break. Zoe Korma's got 14 points right now. And on the other side, Liv Vaughn has 15 for Metamora. The problem, though, is for Pekin, you've got Korma that has 3 fouls. You got Katie Covert with 4. You got 3 fouls on Metamora's side with Leah Koster, but 3 fouls with 2.5 left, not your concern. Full court press, steal for Stock, but since Stock was the last to touch it, it's still Metamora ball.
I do like the call there to, sort of bring up a press, force them to maybe do things that they're uncomfortable with the ball.
Coach Brett McMinnis knows that this isn't what you want. They did not want to foul Liv Vaughn, but the press is on. You've only got 10 seconds to bring it out, and Liv Vaughn able to do so. She's driving, drove for a while, taking a three. Her first three attempt in a while off the back of the iron. Zoe Korma is going to try and capitalize. Katie Covert for the tie. Right hook, too hard. Metamora has control. They're going to try and slow things down. Lamb trying to apply the press on Koster. She poked it away, made Koster lose her dribble. As Metamora gets fouled.
I will say, besides that foul, they have played a really aggressive defense to come out of that timeout. And that has forced, some turnovers and some ball pickups. And that is something that you'd like to see if you're Pekin's coach.
That's Ava Stock's third. So now you've got Stock with 3, Barnum with 2, Korma with 3, and Katie Covert with 4, with Allison Lamb bringing up 2 as well. That's in and out for Jillian Tyra. Her first, she has not made a free throw yet in this contest. And again, they've identified who they want to be on that line, and they know it's not Liv Vaughn. She makes the second.
Even as a spectator, I don't want Liv Vaughn on the line if I'm Pekin.
It's a 3-point game for the Redbirds. Pekin knows they need to score now, and it's off the foot of Allison Lamb. Metamora ball.
I like the idea there, though. Get a little back cut, hit. Obviously, you couldn't find her, which is very unfortunate, but I like the idea.
A full court press for the Redbirds. They don't want to foul, and it is a travel. Pekin got lucky as Jillian Tyra took an extra step.
And I think the full court there had something to do with that. With 2 defenders coming right at you, you tend to want to not make a foolish play, but, sadly, that did happen there.
You're absolutely correct, Nick. You can call it luck all you want. The full court press got in their heads, and it worked, especially when you're dealing with the sophomore and Tyra. 3 ball from Lamb. She hasn't made any today, and she goes back iron once more.
I will say, though, that her confidence, even though she has not made a three-pointer yet, her confidence has still remained high. And
they call a reach-in. The reach-in called on Allie Barnum. That brings Liv Vaughn to the line. Liv Vaughn was the last one to touch it there. That's not the person you want to foul. And I think Allie Barnum even looked towards the bench, saying that wasn't the intention.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
$12 for 12 from the free throw line.
I mean, it's looking like the other game when she went 16 for 18. It's looking exactly like it.
Finally, some noise on that attempt. Doesn't matter.
That didn't seem to throw her off at all.
I mean, she's got 17 points, 13 of them free throws.
And I think if you're Pekin's head coach, I don't think this is what you wanted coming into this game.
An open basket for Barnum, and it's going to be an and one opportunity to get this game back within 2.
If they can make this free throw here, I don't want to jinx anything, but if they can hit this could really swing the momentum into their favor.
That foul's on Liv Vaughn, so 3 fouls is not something you really are thinking about unless if you get to overtime.
Yeah, with a minute left to play here,
You need this basket if you're the Dragons. They are currently, that makes them 7 for 15 from the free throw line in this game. I mean, the complete opposite. Pekin, 7 for 15 from the free throw line. The other side, you only have 5 misses and 17 makes.
Yeah. And that is a good way to run the fast break there from Metamora. Off the miss, you get right down the court, you speed things up a bit, and you get a quick, easy 2 there.
That's the first non-3 for Leah Koster as she adds to her already strong performance. 3rd foul there on Bailey Nena. And so that puts Zoe Korma on the line. She's now 4 for 9 on the charity stripe. And they are two more misses than makes as a team for Pekin on the line. I mean, in a 5-point game, that makes a big difference.
That
makes the second.
Free throws could ultimately win you or lose you a game. And as you see here, it's kind of costing Pekin that they can't hit their free throws tonight.
Pekin's sideline started to celebrate as that pass was blocked, but the ball was blocked with such velocity that it went back to a
right
Redbird
back.
hand.
Yeah.
So Lamb gets her third foul. Now, besides Katie Covert, anybody's got to get the foul.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
First one goes in for Addie Wooden. She went 1 for 2 last time from the stripe. Let's see if she goes 2 for 2 or repeats what she did in her previous attempt. Liv Vaughn's going to go all the way back behind the opposing three-point arc. They don't care about the rebound, and they shouldn't with the make. Got to get a quick basket here if you're Pekin and want to stay in this game.
And that's exactly what they're going to do.
And she still hasn't delivered. Allie Barnum has 3 balls, and they haven't gone to her this whole second half.
I think that is not something that you want to do. I think if your shooter is hitting their shots, I think you go back to them, especially if you're looking for 3 balls.
Well, the senior and veteran leader in Allison Lamb only has 6 points today, and she just got her 4th foul. Liv Vaughn, not the person you want to foul by any means.
I would agree.
As she makes another. That's the 20th made free throw for the Redbirds. They're currently 20 for 25 on the line. And make it 21 for 26.
Yep.
So.
I think Liv Vaughn only goes home and practices free throws with how amazing a performance she's had from the charity stripe tonight.
I mean, if you take Liv Vaughn out of the equation, you still have 8 for 13.
Yeah, that is not a very that is a pretty good mark still.
Yeah. Especially when you're talking high school ball. 8 for 13 from the stripe is a lot.
Yeah. I think if you're Pekin's coach here, I think you draw up your shooter here to get a 3-ball.
I mean, you got to get a play where you're giving the person you feel most comfortable with a 3-ball. And it looks like Kayla Seidel just checked in, a junior point guard. You think they're going to go for her for a 3? I mean, if Metamora identifies it, then maybe, but never mind. They didn't check her in. They made it look like they were checking her in and then brought her back to the bench.
I mean, I think if you're Pekin, I think you're 3 hunting here, though. Maybe get this game to a 2-possession game.
I can only imagine, based off how the schemes have drawn out, that Allison Lamb is going to get the shot. However, if I'm out there, I have to look towards Allie Barnum. And if she has an open look, again, they've been contesting her a lot this half because of how good she's done. Instead of stock, it goes in and out. And then a jump ball. The arrow is pointed Pekin's way, so
another chance here for them.
Yeah, another chance for the Dragons. Would have loved the shot to make and then the jump ball, but that's okay. We've got Corna. She thought about it, instead gets back to the point guard and Stock. Stock once again rattles in and out. Pekin, just like Metamora, fun facts about this game, folks. Pekin, the only team to make a 3-pointer in the first half. Metamora, the only team to make a 3-pointer in the second half. And out of respect, the Dragons going to let Metamora dribble this one out.
And the fans here have gotten a little bit more into it. They're clapping here and making some noise.
Very first thing I have to say is handshakes. 51-43 final. When we were down in Pekin, it was a 51-42 final.
Oh, wow.
We nearly had a replica of the last time these two games met. The distinctive switches was it was freshman Leah Koster, not freshman Bailey Nena. It was still Liv Vaughn at the charity stripe, and Zoe Korma and Allie Barnum took the place of Covert and Lamb.
I will say, though, if you're Metamora, getting that win in front of the younger generation when you were down at halftime is huge for, momentum heading on into the season and showing the younger generation what you guys are all about here at home.
We will send it to break one final time before our last thoughts. You're watching CI Proud, sponsored by Splush Sports Media.
Come on in to Bob Lindsay Acura and test drive the award-winning Acura MDX.
Sweep-A-Lot takes care of your pavement sweeping needs for your parking lot or landscape. Sweep-A-Lot is backed by Purdue Pavement Solutions, trusted for paving, sweeping, and parking lot maintenance.
February 9th, the Super Bowl is on Fox.
Let's go!
It's not how you begin,
You take advantage of the moment. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's get rolling now.
but how you finish.
Dominate from the first step to the last step. Let's go!
Super Bowl 59, February 9th on Fox.
The Pekin Dragons take their third loss in the last four after going on an 8-game win. After going on an 8-game win streak, the Pekin Dragons take their third loss in the last 4 games. They go to a 15-10 record and a 7-5 away record, 4-7 in the Mid-Illini, and drop a place. Metamora back in the hunt to get in the 3-4 spot as they now improve to 15-12, 5-4 at home, and 5-6 in the Mid-Illini.
And if you're Coach Hurst here, this is a huge win to pick up here at home, especially against a conference opponent that you had a similar record to with. Getting that win over them is huge.
Yeah, you look at the point scores between the two sides. I mean, Liv Vaughn, obviously, had the great day. It's hard to. I'm trying not to count while I talk because that's doing a lot at once. But I mean, only 2 shots she made from the floor. Everything else was from the charity stripe. Free throws definitely played the ending factor of this contest, Nick.
Yeah, they did as well as the 3-ball. I think played a huge factor. We saw Coaster hit 3 threes in a row there, and that really swung the momentum into Metamora's favor heading into the half. And as you said before, the free throws, if you're able to hit your free throws, that could swing momentum into your favor as well. Pekin, they had a little bit of more of a trouble from the charity stripe, and that is, if you're a head coach, that is not what you want to see.
Yeah, no, you are correct. Looking at some point totals, you've got 19 for Liv Vaughn. Then the freshman who we talked about came up with those big threes. She had 3 of them in the third quarter that really turned the tide and got the momentum back towards Metamora after Pekin stole it from them. She came away with 11, and then it was the junior and Addie Wooden who came away with 7 points.
And going back to freshmen, having players who can step up into roles, because most freshmen, they tend to not play on the varsity level, but having a freshman that could come in, get you points in crucial situations here in the third quarter when they were down is huge as a coach, and that is something that you can look forward to years to come as she's only a freshman.
5-point scorers for the only 5-point scorers for 6-point scorers for Metamora. You had 5-point scorers on Pekin. So although you saw a lot of players coming out and making big impacts, only a couple of them. And now an autograph session. It wasn't announced, but all those girls from Metamora, the younger generation that we've been talking about, who came out to support and watch the contest, are now going to get some autographs from those girls who just came out in the second half and came away with the victory and the comeback.
I think if you're Metamora, this is a really nice thing to do here. I mean, especially if you're the younger generation, having these players who you might look up to sign maybe a poster or something, that could mean a lot to you.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about how they're role models. We'll go over to the Pekin side. It was the senior and Zoe Korma that came away with 15 points. Allie Barnum, she had 12. She had 2 threes in the first half, and she had 3 twos in the second half. Then you see Katie Covert and Allison Lamb, the junior and senior that scored 12 and 11 last time, got 6 apiece today.
I will note on Covert and Lamb there, they found a lot of shots for them, and they just weren't able to convert, which, if you're a coach, you could sort of live with your best players not being able to convert. It does suck during the game, but, these are things that you have to live with.
Well, the Redbirds hosted the Dragons. They take care of business after being down at halftime. They came back out, and whatever Michaela Hurst said definitely came out strong and definitely proved to get the win.
I think they played diva at halftime. That might have motivated them.
That might have just done it. For all of us here at Clutch Sports Media, We had Jonathan Michael up there on camera, Joshua Messenger producing and running the graphics and show, Nicholas Gialetti to my right, and I'm Caden Sexton from Clutch Sports Media on CIProud.com. You just watched an incredible game of Mid-Illini basketball. Make sure to tune in next time. Have a great rest of your Saturday.